It's Wednesday night, and we're live from Oakdale, Washington, in the Educated Touch studio. Welcome to Ethics Outside the Box, with your host, Nathan Nordstrom. Special guests include you. Here he is, Nathan Nordstrom.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this week. Yes, it seems to become a family affair. Last week I had my mother with me, and this week I'm having the next generation, having my son with me. And so we are going to be talking today about ethics. And this is going to be an interesting episode since I have no clue what my 11-year-old's going to say. 10-year-old's going to say. Yes, he's halfway through his year. Grant, what grade are you finishing up?
Fourth grade.
Fourth grade, okay. And what was your favorite thing about the fourth grade?
The end of the year.
The end of the year. What was your favorite subject in the fourth grade?
Math.
Math? Oh, I thought I was going to say music. And you're playing an instrument?
Yeah. Trombone.
Trombone. And you're liking the trombone?
Yes.
If you had to switch to another musical instrument, what musical instrument would you switch to?
Trumpet.
Trumpet. All right. If I asked you, how are you responding ethically to your teacher, what would you say? What would be your answer?
Good.
Okay. What are you doing to respond ethically to your teacher?
I'm polite.
Polite. Okay. That's definitely something, ethics. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Thank you for joining me, Grant. We're going to be going through, like usual, the ethics of the National Certification Board of Therapeutic Massage and Body Workers. And in that process, we're actually going to go through and see a couple of different things that massage therapists need to do and should do, and sometimes are optional, because it's not always every situation that you need to have all of the same standards and practices. So I'm going to have us go and visit the National Certification Board's website. And if I click that and that, we should get right to the Facebook page that we're on. But I also want to just click right over to the National Certification Board of Therapeutic Massage and Body Workers website, scrolling all the way to the top, NCBTMB. Choose Board Certified is the page there. Most times people see it, it's about like that. I like to scroll in so you guys can actually see what we're reading. But we are on the Standards of Practice. We've finished the Code of Ethics, thank goodness. But we're now onto the Standards of Practice and looking at the Standards of Practice and the importance of them. We are at Standard of Practice number 1. Professionalism. So what does it mean to be professional, Grant? What are some things that you notice for professionals?
For what?
Just professionals, period.
You're good at something.
You're good at something? Okay. Is everyone a professional if they have that job? They're not. Okay. Can you give me an example of an experience you've had where someone wasn't professional?
Me at baseball.
Why are you not professional at baseball?
I'm in minors and I'm not.
You're not making money yet
Yes.
at it? Okay. Well, that is definitely a category to be conscious of. Making money doing it is an important piece. But there's actually some other things that we want to make sure. It's not just about if you're making money doing it, but how you carry yourself. That even if you're not making money doing it, that you're presenting yourself appropriately, that you're being a good sport. Do you know what that means when I say a good sport?
Yeah. Good
sportsmanship. That means that no matter if you win or lose, you still go and say good game and you try your hardest, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So in that, we are actually at Standard 1I and J today. So Standard 1I is, if applicable. What does applicable mean, Grant?
I have no idea.
If it applies to your situation, that's applicable. So if it applies to you as a massage therapist in the circumstance that you're at. We'll talk about some examples where that might not be the case. But if applicable, conduct an accurate needs assessment. Do you know what a needs assessment would be?
Just things that you actually need.
See what they actually need, see what needs to actually happen. Develop a plan of care with the client. So what's a plan of care?
Like healthcare and stuff like that.
Healthcare, how you're going to work with them, and make sure that that's all correct. Okay. And update the plan as needed. How do you update something?
You evolve it.
Evolve it. Okay. So if you have something that is not updated, then a lot of times you have to start thinking about it's out of date or it's no longer useful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a computer from 10 to 15 years ago, will that be a really good computer for you?
No.
Why not?
It's old and probably wouldn't work anymore.
It's old. It's old as you are. Yeah, and it wouldn't work as well, wouldn't be as fast, and wouldn't have all the new technology and new changes that are out there. So that's an important piece is to kind of look at. But as we were talking, I just kind of wanted to go over each of those pieces that are very important. So, Grant, where have you heard that your dad has worked? What are some places that you've seen or known your dad to be working at?
Several colleges.
Worked at colleges. Okay, that was in the education realm, right?
You also were a shoe seller.
Wow, in high school I sold shoes. That is correct. Not quite what I was going for there, but okay. So, have I worked anywhere other than colleges?
You were the head of, you were the president of the Massage Therapy.
Okay, you're gonna have to be louder a little bit more.
You were the president of the Massage Therapy Association.
I've been president of the American Massage Therapy Association. How about in practice when I'm working with my hands with clients? Are there any places that you know of that I worked with clients or patients?
Pretty much everywhere. You've even worked in our house with them.
I've worked at outcall in people's homes. Okay. Have I worked in any spas?
Oh, you've worked in a lot of those.
I've worked in spas. Okay. Any spas that you can think of or you know of? Okay. So we live in northeastern Washington. And so Coeur d'Alene Casino and Resort. I worked in Coeur d'Alene, right? You remember that? Yeah, that was a spa. I worked in Jackson Hole, Wyoming at the Rusty Parrot Lodge and Spa, which is a high-end spa. Let's see. How about in any clinical settings? Medical, doctors or hospitals or with doctors? Can you think of any place where I've worked with doctors?
No.
And do you remember who Dr. Guerrero is?
No.
Dr. Minga? You don't remember Dr. Minga?
Remind me.
I hope Dr. Minga's not watching.
Sorry.
Sorry. Minga Guerrero at Hoodview Chiropractic? Nope. Okay. So yeah, I've worked at chiropractors' offices. I've went out to do outcall in hospitals. I've worked with medical practitioners in medical tents for sporting events. So when I was at the Rock and Roll Marathon.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another one. So each one of those settings, do you think I do the exact same thing? If I'm working with a doctor and when I'm working in a spa?
No.
No, why not? Well, what do you expect in a spa that you don't expect from a doctor's office?
In the spa, you just try and relax and.
Got it. Got to speak up.
You're trying to relax in a spa, but if you go to a doctor, you're helping someone who's in need of actual treatment.
Okay, so a lot of times people think that if you're going to a spa, you're not really injured, you're not hurt, you just are trying to relax. Is that kind of what you're thinking about?
Yeah.
Okay, and then when people talk about a clinical setting or going to a doctor's office, they think of you've been injured, you've got problems, so you need to recover. Is that kind of where you're going with that too?
Yeah.
Okay. So does that have to be the case?
Yeah.
Well, that's a hard challenge to be looking at for the massage therapy profession. It's something that we always kind of connect with and kind of want to understand. So the first piece is that if you think about the people who go to a spa who want to relax, do you think they ever get injured?
Yes.
Yeah, because everyone has accidents, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't get in car accidents on purpose. And so even if they're going to the spa regularly, they may have gotten in an accident or had an injury or may have worked out too hard or any of those things. So no matter where you're at, you have to be conscious of what you're doing as a massage therapist. However, that first word was when applicable or if applicable. So if there is a need for, if it applies to you. So they're specifically talking about creating a treatment plan. So Grant, if you wanted to get better at baseball, since we already talked about baseball, what does it take to get better at baseball?
Practice.
Practice. Do you have to practice once and then you're done?
No.
No? How often do you have to practice?
Multiple times. Our team practices twice a week.
Twice a week? Okay. What if you want to get really good?
Like every day.
Every day? For how long?
Till you're good enough.
Until you're good enough. You think so?
Yeah.
Do you ever think you'll be good enough? No. So every day for the rest of your life, or until you stop doing it?
Yes.
Okay. So when you look at the professionals, since we're talking about baseball, we're going to say professional baseball players. What do you think the professional baseball player, how often do you think they practice?
As much as they can.
It's their job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're a professional baseball player, you want to make sure that you are working to get better at what you're doing professionally. So when we're talking about practicing, that's one of those things that we have to be conscious of. However, if you lived in Tahiti, do you know where Tahiti is?
Yeah. It's a tropical place.
A tropical place, a tropical island. Okay, once again, speak up nice and loud because that's what's going to pick you up. So a tropical island, and you were a massage therapist in Tahiti. How often do you think you would be working on the same people, and how often do you think you'd have tourists who come in that you're working on?
I'd probably be working on tourists, like, not that much. Well, probably a lot, but I probably wouldn't see them again.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't see them again, and that's where a lot of this comes down to applicability. If you're creating a treatment plan for a client, and you're saying, okay, if applicable, conduct an accurate needs assessment. So, gosh, if that person in Tahiti is there for one day and getting a massage, and then they're going to be leaving, creating a needs assessment and developing a treatment plan might not be very usable if you're saying, you know what, you should probably be getting massage once a week for the next couple of months, and then reduce it to once a month if you're only going to see them once. However, it may be good to give them that information when they go home, so that you can say, hey, you should find a massage therapist at home who can work on you because I noticed these types of conditions. But if you're not going to see them, you wouldn't be creating that change or that process to help them get better. So conduct an accurate needs assessment. Well, can you conduct any needs assessments for you? What are some things that you need?
Food.
You need food. Good. What else?
Shelter.
Shelter. Okay. So those are some good needs assessments. Anything else that is needed by Grant?
Just like a want.
No needs. What we're saying needs.
Water.
Water, food and water, shelter. Anything else?
Clothes.
Clothes. That kind of goes with shelter, but it doesn't. It actually keeps you warm. Okay. What else?
I don't know.
Everything else is a want?
Well, a healthcare.
Healthcare. Okay. How about the internet?
No,
That's a want, not a need?
it's nice to have.
Okay, he hasn't been too destroyed in thinking that there is a abstract need for internet. All right. So when we're looking at needs assessment specifically with clients, we'd be looking at the process of, okay, how are they moving? How are they standing? How are they walking? And those are going to give you some understanding of needs for getting better. For example, if you have someone limping because they hurt their leg, you know what? Yes, taking care of that pain of that leg is going to be really important, right? However, when you're limping on one leg, what does that mean for the other leg? Any idea?
It's not. It's taken twice as much of the strength that you need that's being carried by the other leg.
Awesome. Yeah, it is taking more of the weight because that other leg can't take it. So that leg may actually be more tired, and you need to work on that one to get it back so it's not so tired. Good call. Good call. But that can be any part of the body. That can be the neck. That can be the shoulders. That can be the head itself. That can be the chest. It can be the hips. It can be the foot, the ankle. You can have all these different needs that are there for things that people are trying to take care of. So it's important for you to kind of look at creating or conducting an accurate needs assessment for that client. So once you've collected the needs in your mind and doing that assessment, just because you've figured something out, does that mean everyone else knows it?
No.
Nope. If you can't have anyone get excited about your assessment unless you create a plan and present it to them. Okay? So if you had a friend who was starving and they didn't know why their stomach hurt so bad, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
However, if you saw that they were starving, you're like, oh, well, he's starving, but you didn't tell him, how do you think that would go? Do you think that would be a good thing?
No.
No. What would a good person do?
Give them food.
Give them food. Okay, help them out. Well, what if he's like, no, I just feel really bad. I can't eat.
Call someone. Do something about it.
Call someone, do something about it. Okay. I think the biggest thing is saying, yeah, you're feeling uncomfortable and you're not feeling good because you're not eating. And if you get food in, you'll probably start feeling better. Okay. So being conscious of the abilities that you have and the importance it is to take care of other people is going to be important. As a massage therapist, when we start looking at our needs assessment and we start looking at developing that treatment plan, it's going to be really important to say that you have accurate needs assessment, which means you have the education to do a needs assessment, which means at massage school, when you go in and they're talking about what the best plan is and treatment and protocols, that you're staying connected. What are you doing?
Popping my neck.
Oh, knock it out. All right. So accurate needs assessment. So you have the education to do that and then develop a plan of care with the client. With the client. With the client. Why would I say with the client so many times, Grant? What do you think? Yeah, he fell asleep. Good. You were popping your neck too much. So if I told you, Grant, you need to do this, and I didn't tell you why, that happens quite a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I tell you you need to do this and I don't tell you why, and you go and you do it, have you learned the importance of doing that?
No.
No. What have you learned?
Nothing.
No, you've learned something.
How to grow muscle?
No, you've learned how to follow instructions from your father, which I hope is something that you're doing quite regularly. But the best thing would be for me not to just say, Grant, do what you're supposed to. Go and do this. But also to say, Grant, here's what I'd like you to do. Why do you think you should do it? So, Grant, I'd like to have a trench dug in our yard that is 3 feet deep and 20 feet long. Okay? Grant, I want you to do this. Okay? So Grant, go Go dig that trench. Really? You're not jumping for joy? Okay. What if I said, gosh, our house is going to flood away if we don't have a trench dug that diverts the water? Grant, could you go get started on the trench that's going to save our house?
Sure.
Be easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know why. Because you know why you're doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So same thing here with our clients. When we're talking about making sure that we're developing a plan of care with the client, it's important to let them know not only what to do, but why to do it. Because it's more likely they're going to do it. Yeah. More likely you're going to do it if you understand the why. Kind of like, okay, stop picking on your brother. If I say that, then you'll stop picking on your brother for a few minutes and then go back to doing it. But if I say your brother is getting his feelings hurt and you need to, I would appreciate it if you helped build your relationship with your brother and not pick on him, you may actually not do it for at least a couple more minutes than before. Maybe? Maybe. Okay. All right. And update the plan as needed. Now, once again, we've gone to the applicable stuff. We've said if you're going to be seeing them regularly. But as you see that person, and I've seen this in a lot of times in chart notes or clinical note keeping, where a client comes in and they get a massage. And then they come in the next time and they go, oh, I felt a little better. And then they come in the next time, oh, I feel a little better. And they come in the next time, oh, I feel a little better. But then they come in and they get a massage and they're like, oh, yeah, I feel fine. Instead of I feel better or I feel worse, it's just, I feel fine. I'm okay. Now, if that person has written in their chart notes and updated each week what has been going on, then you'll know when they've gotten to a point where they haven't improved. And that's where that updating needs to happen. Is you need to know where things are going to be at and why. So it's important to update your plan so you know what's going on. Very similarly, Grant, you've been playing baseball now for 2 years? 3 years. Okay. In those 3 years, have you gotten any better?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. How did you get better?
Practicing.
You practiced. But what are some things that you've noticed that you've gotten better at?
Hitting.
Hitting. So you hit more often, farther. You can hit from a faster pitch. All the above, or only some of those?
I can hit farther.
You can hit farther. Okay. That's always good. Okay. What else? How about catching?
Yeah.
Have you gotten better than you were 3 years ago?
A little, not as much though.
Not as much. Okay, so you've got more to grow there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anything else that you've gotten better at in baseball? How about throwing?
Yeah.
Gotten better at throwing?
Mm-hmm.
Can you throw it faster, harder? Can you throw it more straight with more accuracy?
All of those.
All of those. Awesome. Okay. So same things here apply to you playing baseball as apply to a massage therapist needing to work with their client. If you have a client who comes in and says, gosh, I've got a headache, and you say, well, okay, you've got a headache. Let's see if we can work on that headache. And you work on them, and then they come in the next day and they say, or the next week, and they say, oh, I still have a headache. And then you work on them a week later and they say, oh, I still have a headache. But then you don't ask, well, did you have a headache when you got done with the massage? Because most of the time they'll go, nope, it was gone. You say, well, how long did it stay away for? Oh, it's gone for 4 days the first time. Then it was gone for 5 days and came back. And then it was gone for 6 days, or just came on just before you got back, came back in for the next massage. That would be pretty important to know, right?
Yeah.
Because then that shows improvement. And you're updating that treatment plan with the different possibilities of improvement. So it's not just that you're getting better, but how you're getting better that really matters as well. All right. So Any questions on the importance of documentation, Grant?
No.
No? Okay, so should you ever decide to write in a journal, it would be important to write the things that you're going through and the challenges you're having, but it's also important to show the things that are getting better, which is harder to see, things that you're grateful for and the things that you've improved on. That helps you understand that you're improving ethically as well. Because if things are hard, can you think of something that was really hard for you maybe a couple of years ago?
No.
No? Let me throw your brother Curtis under the bus. So Curtis, not physically, we're not going to throw him under a bus. Curtis, many years ago, he lied to me about something. And he didn't want to tell the truth because he knew he was going to get in trouble. But then he realized after a while that if you lie, you get in trouble for the lie as well. And as time has gone by and gotten better, he's gotten better at telling the truth. However, there's still sometimes when you say, Curtis, tell me the truth. And he's like, it's going to be hard. What's hard about telling the truth? I don't want to get in trouble. Well, you're going to get in trouble anyway because you're lying. Okay. So it's easier to get better at telling the truth and being strong and being an organized person and really pushing forward and getting better as a person. Just like your physical activity, your mental activities are important as well. So you used to think math in single digits was really hard.
I did.
Many years ago. It was really hard because 3 plus 3 equals 6. That's how you used to do it. Now you're adding, 4 digits, 5 digits, 6 digits?
I've passed that. I'm on multiplying.
Yeah, multiplication, division.
6 digits.
So you've got a lot of experience, and all that other stuff seems easy now, right?
It is.
All right. So we're going to now look at Standard J here. So Standard J is use appropriate draping to protect the client's physical and emotional privacy. Well, what does that mean, Grant? Any ideas?
Let me read it again.
What's your ideas?
So they have their privacy. Everyone has their space. You can give them privacy, and still be respectful.
Got to speak up.
And still be respectful.
Okay. So, you know what's very unique about massage therapy?
What?
Well, there's a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. One of those unique things is that when a person comes to a massage therapist, we're working on their muscles. And so a lot of times people take off all of their clothes and get underneath a sheet. And so they're not wearing any clothes and they've got a sheet and a blanket on top of them so that we can get in and push on directly on the skin over the muscles, and we can use lotion and oil to rub those muscles and relax those muscles. Okay. So one of the standards of practice that we're talking about here is making sure that that sheet is covering all private areas.
Yes.
Okay. Pretty important, right?
Yes.
Because no matter how old you are, you still need to have private areas stay private. Good. All right. So use appropriate draping. So do you know what draping is? Okay. If you look at the window over there, there's a thing that's over it. Other than it's a sheet, it is considered a drape. So it covers over things. Okay, so it covers over something and keeps you from seeing through. So a drape is a cover to cover something over. So when you're looking at massage therapy, we're going to be looking at the key aspects of draping a person. So if you're working on their arm, their back, or their leg, you can move this sheet so that you can work on that area specifically. So draping, going to the leg drape. So making sure that you're covering the leg and making sure that you're not able to see any. You good?
Yes.
Okay. Making sure you can't see anything that you're not supposed to. You good?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Yes.
So the physical and emotional privacy. What is the difference between physical privacy and emotional privacy?
Your private parts and emotional privacy. Like, your mother just died and you want to keep it a secret.
Wow, that's not where I was going, but very true. I've had clients who have come in who have had emotional experiences with death in the family or something of that nature, and they don't want to talk about it. And giving them the privacy of their emotional abilities is really important. You're right. That's astute of you. Very, very well done, Grant. Very well done. So looking at emotional privacy, you also look at the emotional privacy of the areas that you're draping. Right here, they're talking specifically about draping and making sure that they feel comfortable. Now, I've told this story probably several times on the air, and I don't know if I've ever told you this story, Grant. I had a sweet little old lady who came in to get a massage several years ago, and she came in and we were talking about the massage and figuring out what she needed and what we were going to help her feel better with. And I told her, okay, undress to your level of comfort and lay face down on the table and underneath the sheet so that you can feel comfortable and safe. She asked me what that meant to lay down, undress to your level of comfort. I said, oh, well, undress to whatever you're comfortable in. So I stepped out of the room and she put her coat on and got underneath the sheet and pulled the sheet up over her back. And so I came into the room and I looked at her and went, oh, okay. And so I did the massage with her having her coat on. So I did a lot of compression, a lot of pushing and squeezing like this, but I didn't put lotion on her coat at all, right? I would have ruined her coat. We don't want to do that. But I did the whole massage with all of her clothes on. And so that was her physical standard of comfort. She felt more comfortable, protected physically and emotionally by keeping her clothes on. Well, by the end of that session, I said, well, how was the massage? She says, oh, that was great. I think next time I'll take off my coat. And so the next time, and I saw her several times after that, but the next time she took off her coat and she took off her pants because she wanted me to work on her legs one time. And she had left her bra on, but she wanted me to work on her back. And so she took off her shirt another time while she was underneath the sheet. Making sure that people are safe is really important. And making sure that people trust you is an important piece too. Massage therapists underestimate the importance of trust. How do you build trust, Grant? Yes and no. You don't know how to build trust? How do you destroy trust?
Like if you have a secret, tell it to like as many people as you can.
Yeah, sharing secrets, sharing other people's secrets. How else do you destroy trust?
Not being really trustworthy. Like,
oh, okay, trustworthy. Okay. So, not doing what you're supposed to, not respecting others. Those?
Yeah.
Okay. So as no matter what the business is, if you're a businessman and you have customers coming in and your client says, hey, you did this or your company did this, I want my money back. And you said, nah, I'm not going to give you your money back. Yeah, you probably lied to me or you probably did something wrong. You think that builds trust?
No.
No?
You say no refunds.
You say no refunds? And does that build trust?
No.
No, it doesn't. Because who is it all about in business?
The client.
It's about the client or the customer. Making sure that customer feels safe and respected and listened to. What if there's something that you can't fix. For example, a client comes in, they got a full hour massage, and they said, oh, that was the worst massage ever, I want my money back. And you go to give them the money back, and they're like, I'm going to tell all my friends that you are the worst massage therapist ever. What do? You're giving them their money back. They aren't out anything other than the time that they received the massage. Don't know. Well, I think the first thing you can say is, I'm so sorry to hear about that. I would love to give you another massage and hopefully meet your expectation. But if we can't, then here's what I'm planning on doing. If you need to be listened to, I'm more than willing to talk to you more about how to have a better experience and what I can do to improve your session. So a lot of times it's really important to keep a listening ear, to be listening to what needs to happen, to be engaging with your clients and making sure that they understand that you're listening to them, respecting them, and helping them have the best experience. Okay. So Grant, how do you become a good, actually, let me go another direction. How do you get good grades?
Study.
Study. How often should you study?
When you have a chance.
Ooh, wrong answer.
Oh, dang it.
When you have a chance, if you're too busy, then it's going to be more important than studying, right?
Yes.
What's more important, getting good grades or playing outside?
Getting good grades.
Okay, so when you get the chance after playing or when you get the chance before playing?
Before.
Yeah, so putting your priorities in order is really important. So a lot of times when you say when you get the chance, that means other things are getting in the way of doing it. And if it's a really important thing, then you need to make sure that that's a first priority. Ethical behavior is one of those things that's the first priority. Okay, so there's a little thing called a little white lie. Do you know what a little white lie is, Grant?
No.
Never heard of a little white lie?
I've heard this saying, I just don't know what it means.
Okay. So a little white lie is the aspect of your mom, no, we're going to go a different direction. Your sister says, gosh, does this outfit make me look fat? How do you respond to that?
No.
You say it doesn't make you look fat?
No.
What if it does make them look fat?
You look slightly unappealing.
Wow, that's a pretty dangerous statement to be saying to your mom or your sister. That could get you in a lot of danger. So when we're starting to say it's important to connect and be honest, what are some things that you could say if someone says, gosh, does this make me look fat? I have someone knocking at the door. So what are some things that you could say? You could say, gosh, I don't think it makes you look slender. I don't think that's the best idea. Damn it, I'm on a webinar. So please go continue playing, buddy. All right, so we've had an adventurous time today. All right, so making sure to tell the truth, and the practice of telling the truth is always important, because if you feel like you can tell a little white lie, you can probably tell a little bigger lie, and a little bigger lie, and a little bigger lie, until they build up. And so I guess the best example of that little white lie of, does this dress make me look fat? No, honey, no. It's beautiful. It looks wonderful. And then they go to their friends, and their friends go, oh, that dress doesn't look good on you. Now you look like the schmuck, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't want to look like the schmuck.
No.
You want to look like the wonderful brother, father, anything else. You want to look like the superhero. Okay? So it's important to be respectful and honest no matter what. So even if someone asks for your opinion, your opinion is important, but your opinion is also supposed to be kind and be represented of the benefit to other people as well. Okay. All right. So let's do one more thing here. We're going to come back to standard of practice. So once again, I'm going to zoom out here. Maybe not. Are we there? Okay. Oh, whoa. That's probably unlegible by anybody. All right. So once again, we are at the National Certification Board of Therapeutic Massage and Body Workers website. This is the website that holds the national standards for massage therapy. Now, are these the only standards in massage therapy? No, there aren't. However, many states use the National Certification Board's Code of Ethics and Standard of Practice either to create their own or as their reference tool for their own state law. So being able to engage that direction is going to be quite important. To remember that you have a resource online to go to. So the National Certification Board's website has many things on it. The things that I'm pointing out in this series is all the way down at the bottom. It's the About section, and we have about the National Certification Board of Therapeutic Massage and Body Workers, or about the NCB is how most people refer to it. Volunteers, we talk about who's a volunteer and what positions. If you want to volunteer for the National Certification Board to help out, it's a very helpful process. It's a volunteer piece. It really makes our profession better to volunteer. So there's many ways you can volunteer. We have the bylaws of the National Certification Board. We have the certification board itself, so that is volunteers who are on the certification board. It is not a company that is run by a CEO or owned by a CEO. There is a certification board, and I happen to be on it now. So that's an important piece to be looking at, is that this is volunteer run. This is owned for the profession, not for one person to get rich. Senior staff, these are people who are the employees of the National Certification Board. NCB FAQs, facts and questions. The Code of Ethics, which we just finished. The Standard of Practice. The Privacy Policy. Disclaimers, actions, and then going on down, email, archives. So it's important to kind of say, if you have a question about NCB, you can go over here and find out most of the information that you'd be looking for. The other thing that I like to point out for anyone who's looking for continuing education for their state, most states expect continuing education to be board certified continuing education providers. National Certified Continuing Education Providers, if you come to the home page, which I went to, www.ncbtmb.org, and you scroll down from the top, on the left-hand side, you see Find A section. Board Certified Therapist, NCBTMB Assigned School. So if you're looking to become a massage therapist, that would be where you'd want to be looking for schools. And then you have the NCBTMB Approved CE Providers. So Approved CE Providers is a standard where they have actually gone through and vetted their curriculum, looked at the topics that they're presenting, and given a good understanding of what it means to be in business and to be teaching. So that's an important piece. You can search by a business name, an individual's name, an approved provider number, or you can just say the state of whatever state you're in, Georgia. You can also choose different countries, and you can go down to course categories and go down and find, let's go soft tissue release as a category. And so I'm looking for Georgia soft tissue release providers who teach soft tissue release, and then it goes up to continuing education. There happens to be one Scott Cruz, who teaches a 12-hour class in soft tissue release. So that is a really helpful tool if you're looking at continuing education and needing to get your continuing education dealt with. But I also, real quick, I know going back to the subject that we were on here on the standards of practice, right, Grant?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Standards of practice. And what, do you remember what letter we were on?
J.
I and J. Wonderful. I'm going to scroll back in on I and J. If applicable, conduct an accurate needs assessment. So if we're talking about an accurate needs assessment, there's a couple of things we have to have. The ability to assess their needs. In most massage therapy schools, you were trained how generally to do a posture analysis and a gait analysis, but you weren't really trained to see what their needs are for massage therapy. Or if you were, getting that into practice is important. So continuing education can be really supportive of creating an accurate needs assessment for your clients. It also gives you abilities to work in different ways on the tissues of the human body so that you know exactly what you're working on. It's important to always be conscious of what you're supposed to be working on and to learn something new. Regularly, I've seen massage therapists who are really excited about their practice, but as they do their practice again and again, then they start losing out on the excitement. Grant, if you were to play baseball and you were in right field and they always hit it to left field, no matter what, would you be excited about baseball? Why?
Because you pretty much just stand out in the field and do nothing.
Yep, because you would not be using your brain or your activity, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it comes to you once in a while, then you're more likely to re-engage and connect and ask the right questions. So it's important to have that right education to really get you in that assessment field and really connect with you in many different ways. All right. So
Thank you, Nathan. The hour has flown by. We hope you've enjoyed this discussion with Ethics Outside the Box. As you've seen, Nathan uses many second-hand stories of ethical situations. If you'd like to share your story or you have any questions, feel free to contact him and Nathan at educatedtouch.com. If you'd like to register for next week's live webinar, go to shop.educatedtouch.com. Under live webinars, you will see all upcoming webinars. If you have just watched this video and would like continuing education for home study, you can go to shop.educatedtouch.com under the home study options with the date or episode number to receive your exam. If you would please like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, we will keep you up to date on new videos. If you'd like to attend one of our live courses, you can find upcoming scheduled events at www.educatedtouch.com. Thank you for joining us today. Be well and have an ethical day.
now there's one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. This is June 6th. Next week, I am actually going to be at the Florida State Massage Therapy Association Conference. Actually, Monday and Tuesday, I'll be in Savannah, Georgia, teaching classes at Virginia College in Savannah. And then Wednesday, I start gua sha classes for Wednesday, Thursday. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I'm going to be teaching ethics. If you are going to be at the Florida State Massage Therapy Association and want to participate, I will be putting it on our Facebook page where we're going to be recording the Ethics Outside the Box. And you can come and join us for a live Ethics Outside the Box class. And it will have Rebecca, and there's going to be a crew of us that are going to be talking. But feel free to join us. It would be a lot of fun to have more the merrier and kind of connect with each of you in different ways. So thank you so very much and enjoy yourself. And I will talk to you again very soon. Is there anything that you learned today?
Big words.
Big words, like which ones?
Applicable?
Applicable. How is applicable to you? How many people have I what?
View these things.
How many people view these things? Millions. Since my guest was not going to join me. Oh, maybe that was my guest. Maybe that was my guest too. Smile.
What?
Okay.
Green screens are awesome, aren't they?
And protocols that you're staying connected. What are you doing?
Popping my neck.
Oh, knock it out. What's more important, getting good grades or playing outside?
Getting good grades.
Sorry, excuse me, everyone. You good?
Yes.
Okay. Making sure you can't see anything that you're not supposed to. You good?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So, what if it does make them look fat?
You look slightly unappealing.
Enjoy that Facebook Live. All right. So, draping. Go.
Shop.